Hi, Year 12. This is Miss Becca. Today's topic is ASEP. These are the skills you need for academic success. So what does that mean? This stands for, it's an acronym for 4 skills: analyze, synthesize, evaluate, and present. And as I said, these are the 4 basic skills that are necessary for your success in academic English and even for your entire academic career. All right? So, what do these 4 things mean? To analyze means to break something into parts in order to better understand it. To synthesize means to put pieces together into a meaningful whole. Now, this whole is original. It's new, it's different than what it was before. It's new. That's what makes it meaningful. So you are putting things together into a meaningful whole because you've taken something, broken it down, and you're putting it together in a new way. Evaluate means form an idea, make a judgment about the value of something. Presenting means formally talking about something you have written or studied. Okay, so you're using all of these skills in your research project. So analyzing, when you're narrowing your topic, you are breaking that topic into parts. That's analysis. When you are reading your sources and annotating them and breaking their ideas down and making notes in a way that the ideas make sense to you, that's analysis. Synthesis is the stage you're about to move into when you take those notes and you start seeing how the relationships between them fit together and putting them into an order that's going to be your paper, writing an outline, creating a draft. That's going to be synthesis. Evaluation you use throughout the process. Right now you are evaluating sources and you are evaluating whether they're helpful or whether they're reliable or what their bias is. That's a skill of evaluation. You will use evaluation when you write, when you will be evaluating the different evidence and you will be drawing a conclusion as to which evidence is most convincing. That's a skill of evaluation. And then you use evaluation when you move from rough draft into final, when you do your editing and your peer review. Okay, and then presenting. Notice here that we are formally talking about something you've written or studied. So in English, we're particularly concerned with the fact that your writing matches the format and structure of the appropriate text type. In this case, you're writing a report, which means when you give me a paper that has headings and a synopsis, then you have followed the text type. You have presented your information to me appropriately. But these 4 skills are not just for your report, okay? They fit with all of the writing process. So let's just review quickly. What is the writing process? Pre-writing is when you get ideas and select a topic. Drafting is when you get those ideas on paper. Revising is when you make changes to the big picture things like structure, the ideas, whether they flow together, whether they're fully developed, whether they're in the right order. All right? Editing is the small stuff, the grammar and the formatting. Publishing is any time you share your work with others. And again, in ESL and in academic English in particular, we are concerned with producing writing that matches the text type: speech, report, essay, journal, letter. All kinds of text types you've already been exposed to, you'll be exposed to more. Making sure that your writing matches the text type. That's publishing. And you can see that in pre-writing, drafting, revising, editing, and publishing, at the core of that is these 4 skills. When you're doing pre-writing, you're doing a lot of analysis and a little bit of synthesis. When you're drafting, you're synthesizing. When you're revising and editing, you're evaluating. When you're publishing, you're presenting. And so these 4 skills are at the core of the writing process, which is why they're so crucial to your success. Okay? Now, this week in class, we're going to focus specifically on the analysis of essays, right? Because you're working on your report, but we also need to work on essays and do 2 different text types at once. So you're going to analyze essays. And when you're analyzing for essays, you need to focus on 2 things: the prompt and your response. So when you are analyzing an essay prompt, the number one thing is to make sure that you know the definitions of key academic terms. You're going to be given a handout of some key terms. You need to make sure you know those. The nice thing about the HSC is that those terms are consistent between classes. You could learn them for English, they would still mean the same thing in physics class or in chemistry class or in business class. Right? But you need to make sure you know what those words mean, because that helps you to understand the question. And once you know what the words mean, you break down the meaning of those words, you're able to recognize the relationships between ideas, demonstrate your higher order thinking, and analyzing the prompt. It's really important that you do that, because the number one mistake that students make is to not answer the question that's being asked. So you analyze the prompt and make sure you fully understand it. And then you analyze your response to make sure that what you write actually matches the prompt. In English, we're particularly concerned with form, audience, purpose, and structure. But in general, always just make sure you plan your response and make sure that it answers everything that question is asking. And one helpful way to do that is to use things like outlines and graphic organizers to help you organize your ideas and make sure you're conveying the proper relationships between those ideas. Answer the question that's being asked. In particular, in ESL, there are 3 questions you need to know, and you need to know these well. These will come up again and again. The first question is, in what ways? That means that you need to know the features of a text, and you need to describe for me the impact of those features. To what extent means that you make a claim. Something is somewhat true, never true, true in some cases but not in others. Make a claim. And then compare how means show relationship between 2 or more texts. That could be a similarity or difference in ideas, or a similarity or difference in the way that they use a certain feature. Okay? But you need to be able to show those relationships. You must know these 3 prompts and be able to analyze them carefully and be able to craft a response in response to these questions and know the differences between them. That's it. You're going to be practicing your skills of analysis in class this week. Good luck to you guys.